Good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, this is little old me. Yeah, I'm on StreamYard. Good morning. Today is good old Friday. Good morning, Friday. It is May 5, 2023. Oh, yes. What a beautiful day it is. Yeah, this is a little different setup. Um, I'm experimenting with this new was a platform or software to do live streams. Yeah, a couple of days ago, I did utilize it, but this is the first time that I'm utilizing it for, what do you say? Well, let me go back off. I forgot to put the comment on. Yeah, in case, yeah, let me put in good morning. Yeah, this is the first time I'm utilizing it for the morning show like this. I'm putting good morning. Oops. Yeah, just typing this in, put it in the chat room. Yes, the time is now 6:14 a.m. And yes, this is the first time that I'm utilizing this for early morning. Let me see here. Okay, I see the big screen. Let me see if I could still see the comments, the chat room with the screen big. Let me just check this out. Okay. So no, you can't see the chat room. Okay, show chat. Let's see. Let's see. In full screen mode, new private chat messages will appear in the corner of your screen. You can turn this off. If you are sharing this screen with others and don't want private chat messages to be visible. Okay. Okay. Not sure. I hope it's on the chat. Yeah, not sure. Okay. Well, we'll find out. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, because it says show chat. It doesn't have the X. So I don't know whether it's saying that. Let me see. Now it says a hi chat. I don't know which one it is. Oh well. I just leave it on that show chat. Okay. I'll just leave it how it is. Well, anyways, um, yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful morning right now. Yes, it's just past 6:14 a.m. And it's Friday. And yes, I'm still at home. Yes, I'm still at home right now. Um, yeah, probably, yeah, yesterday was raining. It looked like it was very, very cloudy in the morning. And then, yes, it was rainy and wet for a big part of the day. And by the time it cleared up, it was like 4 o'clock. I said, I'm just staying in. But today I want to go out. So, with that out the way, how you all doing? Yeah, I was really curious about how fast it would take me to set up um, the filming, the morning videos that I usually do in bed. How long would it take for me to go in the other room, set up the desktop and all that? It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. Yeah. So, yeah, I Let me know if you would like this setup. I have a big mic, so it shouldn't be any problem speaking. And also, I hope this happened right. I pressed the record button. Yeah, I found out that the PCs, the Windows 10 software has the ability to record the screen. So that's the other experiment in all this. And I set up the parameters so it will be saved in a specific spot that I choose. So I'll be checking on that. So I hope it all works. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Also, another reason why I want to try this StreamYard. Um, I will be interviewing someone in the very near future, as someone that you can call them a targeted individual. Yeah. So I want to make sure that I understand how the software works, how to navigate in it, and so I'll know what to do. Um, yeah, let me know if you have any topics like, let's say, I think I would like to. I'll see how this interview goes, and and if it's a big success, let me know, viewer, if you would like me to continue to interview, or if you want to be interviewed. Yes, I'll be interviewing someone in the very near future someone who has been what they call a targeted individual, and I think it's an interesting topic. And yeah, a couple of years ago, 2016, I learned about the genre over YouTube, what's called targeted, or TIs for short. And that's how I learned about this person. And I've been watching their videos. And so that's just giving you a heads up. So with all that being said, let me begin my story. Today's topic. Yeah, I don't want to get off topic too fast. And yeah, my name. My first name is Azalea. Yeah, I have to make sure I say that. Yeah. Um, so my channel name is Spirit Journey. Um, but yeah, also let you guys know. Yes, my name is Azalea. I'm the flower girl. All my little doggies have flower names. Yes, I'm the flower girl. So, with all that being said, again, so today's topic, I want to talk about a vision that I had, my morning vision. Yes. Uh, I think it started like around, I might have awakened around 6 o'clock this morning. No, maybe five, maybe it was about 5. And what I do in my morning vision, upon awakening from sleeping or dreaming, I do that exercise. I keep my eyes closed and um, get in a very relaxed state, and just as if looking at my eyelids, my closed eyelids, and use my eyelids as if it's a screen, and boom, I get to see things. And what's really interesting that over the night, I started this practice in 2017, as I mentioned in past videos, but now it's like I could almost see something within maybe just a few seconds. How it starts off sometimes like an outline, like I could see the outline of the flooring and the walls, an area view, and then it comes together. So what did I see today? This morning, I saw um, I saw a large room, and oftentimes in my vision, I see, like, I believe it's to obscure my vision. It looks almost like a net, if a ah, I say it's in pieces. It looks like shreds of material, all jagged. But you could, you know, see a lot of openings. It's like almost like a net, like a fish net, but using jagged pieces of cloth. That's what it seems like to me, a feathery look almost. And so you can see in between the holes, you know. And so I'm looking, and I see like a large room, like an um, some type of facility, and just things on the wall, and it looked very busy. But I see it was either two or three men, looked like men. Their backs were to me, and I see they're wearing like a bodysuit. He said, well, what do you mean by a bodysuit? Yeah, let me. Um, Again, it's kind of hard to see because of that net that's trying to obscure my vision. Yeah, my little dog is right next to me. Okay, be careful, baby. Yeah, little Lily is right next to me. She's getting comfortable. Okay, sit down, baby. Okay. Have to move the keyboard. Okay. So what happened? So I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. Okay, baby. Okay, so what happened? You see these? It's light, and the room is well lit, and you see like a man and they're standing. All of them are standing, and the main one, the one in the middle. Okay, sorry, just moving my doggy away from the keyboard. Yeah, it's okay, baby. There he's. I think all of them. I think all of them could have been wearing it, but the one in the middle, his back is turned from me. He looks like he's trying to step into something. Like, his knees are going up high. One by one. Left and right, and his arm is around one of the other guys who's facing perpendicular to him, trying to like keep him up, hold him steady. But you see the leg work, like it reminds almost like he's trying to step into something, or something was going on. And the wall, I think it was the walls were light colored, but they had like gadgets or something. For me, okay, my impression, either this was like um, some type of, and some type of I mean, what I mean by facility, it was definitely like a business establishment, but a mega business. It um, I felt like it was a base, like a military base, a technology. So everything was technology in there. It looked like it just like looked very busy with stuff. It's a very open space. But I didn't know what anything was. And the armor, the body armor, I call it body armor because it was something that was throughout his whole body, from his torso, his legs, and all that. It looked like a hard plastic substance. It was like a light color. It could have been whitish in color. Uh, Smooth surface. Um, it looked hard. It reminded me of, what do you call? Remember the movie Star Wars? Those guys that was wearing those white suits, those, I guess, space armor. That's what it reminded me of. That type of body thing. you know. Um, I don't think he had a helmet on. Not sure if he had that helmet, but that's what I was saying. And he was you see that he was moving, stepping up and down. Yeah, and that's what I saw. This is very reminiscent of what I saw about what's that? Yeah, in March of this year, early March of 2023, I saw a man, and he was wearing that bodysuit. Yes, people. Yeah, it was a close up. He was facing me in my direction. Um, but my vision was, as if I was there, but located on the floor, looking up at him. I might have been maybe 2 arm lengths away from him. It was weird. And I see him talking, and he seems very happy. He's jovial. I don't know who he's talking to because you see his mouth moving like he's speaking. I don't get any audio. I never got any audio in any of my visions. That would be something, people. And if anybody knows how to do that, how to be able to hear what I'm looking at, that would really be exciting. um, and it was a man. It was a black man, a black American looking man, um, medium dark. There was strong light on him. I mean, like the room. How do you express this? Like sometimes, like let's say um, the the room is relatively dark, but you got maybe a very soft lamp on, and it gives like a mood, But it's not so. But the light that hits you reflects enough light. You could see detail, but it's a soothing light. It's not glaring, and it may cast like a shadow, but you could be easily seen. And he had really bad, like scarred face, like a pock marks or bad acne, in his youth or something. Really bad. And he had these goggles on. Well, that is what I saw. His hands were down to his sides. He may have had something in his hand, but I don't remember. And when I was seeing this, it's not like I expected to see what I saw. I didn't, I mean, it just like boom. And I'm trying to figure out, what am I looking at? And where is this? And again, it was in some type of facility. And you see all these lights, like in Star Trek, that everything has lights on it. You know, that that's what it looked like. These things, how Hollywood knows how to make it sets because it's real. These things, yeah, they're copying probably other installation. That's the word, installation. It looked like where the guy was that I saw in March looked like he was in some type of installation. And today's vision, same type of place, but the room that I saw today was a big room, a very large space. Yeah, the walls were far from them, and they were in the center of the room. It would look busy, busy, busy. Yeah, I think it was some type of I think it was some type of I don't know, but I'm thinking outer space facility, or maybe something at a underground facility. These are the two impressions that I got. It's something that the general population does not have access to. That is my impression. Yeah, really interesting people. Very interesting. And interesting that I'm seeing this now. And I've been doing this practice of meditation since 2017, but I started meditating for the first time 2014. And the things that I see is, how you say, evolved. The first thing I saw, I mentioned this before, the first thing I ever saw in my vision, um, it was geometric shapes. The colors were blue and red. They were like a narrow rectangle shapes, like a chain, and they were narrow. And they were a series of them, and it moved like a wave. Like, imagine if you can see the energy move like a current, like a stream. And that's how it moved, like a stream, and just flowing. I saw this. These little narrow triangle. I mean, I keep it in triangle. I meant to say rectangles, and it's flowing horizontally, like a wave, like an ocean. And it had a little dot in the center of it. Yeah, colors were red and green, I believe, and like half and half. Like each rectangle, one side might have been red, the other one green. But I remember there's two colors, red and green. Very interesting. I know those are opposite colors. And then I saw, I think it was in the same vision. I mean, yeah, same session. I later saw a man, a bust of a man, um, relatively young. He a Caucasian slash European. He seemed to, in my opinion, he had a face. It wasn't a modern face, like modern day people that you would see, but a face. My impression, he was someone from the 1800s, late 1800s, or early 1900s. That is my impression. Uh, Very full, dark hair, a very angular face. Wasn't long, but it was the face was very had very lean face, um, and the color of it. You know, like when you use the night vision glasses, goggles, if the colors are distorted, and his coloring was distorted, a slight, like a greenish, like a pale greenish, yellowish color. It was distorted, something like that. And he wasn't smiling or anything like that. And I'm looking, and I said to myself, okay, don't be scared. Don't be scared. He never said anything. He was just like looking straight, very stoic, just a neutral expression. Wasn't smiling, wasn't angry, just there. And then it faded away. Yeah, that was my first episode. So that could have been in April of 2014, I think it was. Yeah, I think April of 2014. Amazing people. That's all I could say. Amazing. Yeah, that was something else. So yeah, it evolved, and then after that, I would see other shapes like these spherical objects that are in a chain, like a series of these little bubbles and light that's illuminated, and it was hanging vertically. I saw things like that. And then I think by 2014, things really started changing more. Uh, I saw locations, I saw buildings and objects and animals, birds in specific. And then I started to see other people, like I'm looking at a stream. Yes, good morning, viewer. I see that we got a viewer today. Yes, good morning. Yes, say hello in the chat room. I'm not sure. Yeah, I just want to check to see, like, I don't physically see uh, the chat room. I have the screen on big. So if you could just say hello, or even just press the number one um, that it's the what do you call it? The chat room is showing. Please let me know. Thanks again. Yeah. So yeah, that's my little face out there that you see. Well, hope it's not scaring anybody. Let me know if the picture's okay for you. And yes, my name is Azalea. Yeah, my name is Azalea, but this is Spirit Journey Channel. Okay, so back to what I was saying now. Yeah, um, so yeah, my evolution of the things I see in my visions is really progressing, and yeah, so starting to see people. Yes, seeing people, locations that I've never been to. Um, so now this space, I think this guy that I saw today that was wearing the body armor, like in Star Wars, that white body armor thing. I guess it was like a weaponry gear. I think these things are real, people. Hollywood is, in my opinion, they're prepping people for those secrets. See, they don't really want you to see what's going out there, and but they present it like it's all make believe. But people, it's not. I mean, they might have fake news and fake scenarios, but what is real is that certain things exist. And so, yes, space spaceships are real. Yes, that's also what I've been seeing in my visions. I saw um, what you call people. I saw spacecrafts, and I didn't see any stars up there. Yeah, they got fleets up there, people. It, that's there's life out there. There are life. There are beings. I saw a being, the reptile being, looked like a crocodile or alligator face. I kid you not, people. I saw a being that was, it looked three-dimensional. I mean, when I was looking at it, it looked like I was right in the room with it. Yeah, there are beings out there. And that being that has that funny shape, like you can see the brain, I call it the brain head or the butt head person. It looked like a brain, like, remember Star Trek had that. I saw that. That was recent. That might have been in April of this year. Oh no, maybe it was March. Yeah, that was March of this year, 2023. And it had these white tubular, like look like rubbery fingers. No joints, but just little tubes, and it was um, flat at the tips. Perfect little tube fingers, very narrow, about a quarter of an inch thick. I saw that. Yeah, and it was whitish in color. Yeah, I mean, people, these things are real. Star Trek was just introducing the public that space travel is a reality, and these space beings are real. And so I'm just letting you guys know. Um, yeah, there's probably going to be a disclosure. See, they have to tell you eventually. They have to let you know what's going on. Yes, it's a reality out there. And so I guess it's a slow disclosure. They don't want to scare you too much. It's real, people. Yeah. Seeing that man in the body armor today in that big room, and then of course, like in March of this year, that one guy, it was super clear, people. Super clear. I'm just looking up at him. Just about 2 arm lengths away from me. Yeah, he didn't see me. He's talking to somebody, but I see him. Wow, and it didn't have that net, that thing that often covers my vision. But in today's vision, yes, it was that net, or whatever would I call it, that like a net, like a fish net. It's like made out of cloth, strips of cloth or something, very jagged looking. Yeah, yeah. I believe that they're grids. I think that the plant that they're grids in certain installations. There are installations. I speculate that have these grids to prevent people like me. Now I'm not waking up in the morning and saying, I want to look at such and such. No, I don't. I just go with the flow and whatever what I see. I let that be known. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. And they don't want me to see. And oftentimes this light comes on. Like I thought my eyes were like open. Because see, my eyes are closed. And so when I saw like a slither of light, like a burst of light, but it's a small burst, and it's lingering. And I said, "Oh, brother, it doesn't want me to see. It's disengaging." That's what I think it's doing. It's disengaging my energy to tap onto that energy. And again, I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm not trying to get into anybody's space. No, that is not my style. But it's what's happening, I believe. I believe that's what's happened when they sense somebody appearing, some energy for they know when something's being tapped, and then they put that light on. It's like a intense light, but it's not hurting my natural eyes. But you see it. And then all of a sudden everything starts to shut down, like you don't see anymore. So that's why I speculate. Hey, it's something, some probably a grid that especially that net. It's a grid. It's a safety grid to try to obscure what you're seeing. And maybe that's what the Faraday's cages look like. The Faraday's cage. That in the natural, um, it might look like one thing, but when your consciousness is traveling there, it gives the appearance of what it looks like to me. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So that was what today's vision was all about. So let's say the next part now. Yeah, I'm reclined in my living room, and it's early morning out there. It looks quiet. It looks very peaceful. Yeah. So what do I? Yeah. Okay. So the second thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about these videos I was watching yesterday on the country of Rwanda. Rwanda is the country that I was going to move to last October 2022. Yes, people. Yes, you newcomers. Yes, I'm a native New Yorker, born and raised here, a veteran, and I had the opportunity. Yeah, well, I wanted to move, and 6 weeks before I was to move, something happened of a financial matter, and I had to put the brakes on everything. But to me at the time, Boy, it's about 6 months now. Wow, 6 months is bad. Yeah, but it's interesting. Like when I go on YouTube, and sometimes I see. Well, recently I saw um, some videos specifically on Black expats and Rwanda, and that it posed the question: why are expats? Why are Black expats leaving Rwanda? So of course, hey, I want to see what this is all about. So that's what I did. I clicked on one of them, and clicked on several of them. But I this is what I want to talk about now. I was surprised. Now, I physically never been to Rwanda, okay? But it looked ideal to me at the time. It had some fantastic homes, uh, affordable using American money. But as we see now, uh, East Africa, now Rwanda is in East Africa. It's right next to Tanzania, Uganda, and the Congo. Um, it's a very hilly country, and it has these high plateaus, and so it's very cool to play. That's also why I wanted to move there. It's not hot; it's a very cool climate, and it's like springtime all year. So I say that's great for me and my little dogs. Yeah, we don't do well in the heat. So, so what's happening in Rwanda? Well, they're planning on doing a currency change. They are uniting with their neighbors to have a standard currency that all those, I think, three nations could share, utilize together to help strengthen their economy, and I guess trade also. Yeah. So that's changing. And how is that going to affect the US dollar? Um, with the not an economist or anything like that, but what I've been hearing, something that like the US dollar, I was told, is the standard currency that they use for the oil trade, petrol, petrol oil. And that's changing, and they're going to use something else. And so if your money is no longer the standard currency for trade, how is your currency going to hold in the new market? That is the question, people. That's a serious question for any expat going and living in any country. That's something you have to, it's scaring a lot of people. Yes, and it should. And that was one of the videos, what it was about. Hey, how is this going to affect expats here and in other African countries? That's a big one, people. So my they mention about several things that are happening to the expats, Black expats in specific, going, living in Rwanda. And this is some of the things that I remember that they said. Issues with cars, issues with the vehicles there. And one thing that I do remember in specific was that, let's say you have a car, a vehicle, and you bring it to the shop to get repaired. So, okay, so and so, this it's doing this. If you can repair it. And so, what's happening there is like, they might do that repair, and you pay for the service, and you go home, but then something happens, and so you bring it right back. You say, hey, yeah, such and such is happening. And then they say, oh yeah, I saw that. So the person, the customer replies, hey, well, if you saw that, why didn't you repair it, or at least tell me? Things like that happen, they said. Now that's a problem for me. Yeah, I used to live in the West Indies, and I mean, I got it worse in the West Indies. I would never want to live there again. Yeah, I lived in the U.S. Virgin Islands of St. Thomas. Physically, a very beautiful place, but um, it was a nightmare, people. It was a nightmare there. Oh, I think I want to talk about something else in addition to that. Yeah, what is paradise? Yeah, I think I want to talk about that too, paradise. But either way, yeah, they didn't even repair my car. I had this. I bought an old car. I was 13 years old. The vehicle. It was a Toyota Corona. Yeah, Toyota Corona, 1979, and it was 13 years old when I got it. And I brought my car to be repaired. They just looked at it. They didn't repair it. They took my money. Yeah, the men there, they don't like women. They don't like women that have vehicles. They believe women are to be barefoot and pregnant mentality. Yeah, they don't mind you having a job, so they don't have to pay your bills, but they want you caged. I mean, I might be over exaggerating, but yeah, they don't believe in women having autonomy. And they like to, some of the men there, there are domestic problems there, and they beat up the women. Yeah, yeah, it's a reality. They call it domestic violence, people. Domestic violence is a real thing in some of these communities. And so I was a foreigner, even though it's part of the US, but I was a foreigner too. And they didn't like I had a car. And in fact, they took my car on a joyride, went 100 miles. See, I kept a chart of the mileage, not for anybody else's sake, but for my sake, to see if my car is running better after the so-called adjustments to my vehicle. And so they got my car in a serious car accident. Yeah, the young dude there that was working there, he brought my car on a joyride. It got T-boned, and they brought it back to the shop. And when I came back from vacation, and I said, "What happened?" And they said, "Oh, you mean you didn't bring the car like this?" I said, "Look, I'm going out, and when I come back, yeah. Oh, I think I was just about to go on vacation. That's what it is. You better, when I come back from vacation, yeah, that's what happened. I said, when I come back from vacation, this car better be fixed." And I stormed out. And when I came back, it still wasn't. Yeah, I was away for 2 weeks, and they used my car to pick me up at the airport. Bunch of idiots. And there was something else. Yeah, yeah, it was horrible, horrible. And they didn't pay. I mean, they didn't repair my car. I went to several mechanics, and in the end, the mechanic that worked for me was the owner. I was referred to them from my neighbor, and they catered to Westerners, Americans. And I met the owner and the owner's wife. And yes, they were Caucasians from the mainland, and they were very nice. They were very nice to me. And she offered me a ride. She doesn't know me, and she offered me a ride because my car's being repaired, which was really nice. So it's a different attitude, people. It's a different attitude about how people do business with other people now. They were more evolved in their thinking, these people from the mainland and the locals there. Um, it's awful for me to, but it's the truth. See, no, I'm not going to go there right now. I'm going to get there, but let me go back to Rwanda. Okay, so with that individual who's relaying this story, that they didn't take the initiative to let the client know or customer know that there were other repairs that could jeopardize them and the vehicle and to get it repaired. And so could cause a problem. Lack of communication. The other thing was, I was surprised at this staring. Yeah, that was a common theme about staring. And I've heard that before, that they stare a lot, stare at people. And the couple that's relaying this story, now they're just like, they were dressed very, um, guy was wearing a nice outfit, a shirt and a sweater. He looked very nice. And the wife was dressed more, uh, not as sharp as the husband, but they're both presentable. But the husband in particular, he seemed more uh, aware of his dress, very, very more conservative in dress. And they're in the street, walking very very casually. And as they're filming and talking and relaying the story, you do notice people staring. When they walk by. And this is what I gather with it. Again, I've never been to that country. But what I'm gathering is it's a small country, and even though Black Americans might say that they're Black and feel that we're the same people, no, you're not. You're not the same people, and I don't mean that as an insult. And I'm not the same people as them. Just look at my face. I don't look like the people from Rwanda. The people now the different phenotype. I mean, East Africa has a lot of genetic variability. But there are distinct looks in the population. But in general, you get a so-called typical North American Black, and you compare them to Rwanda, they look different. Americans and American Blacks have different body types. They're different. And you go to the West Indies, now I lived in the West Indies, they look even different. Different regions have different genetics, different blends, different African blends, different tribal blends, just like you have different coffee blends, right? Right now, all coffee tastes the same, right? It might kind of look alike, but they're not, they don't taste the same. So the same as with people, okay? Even Europeans are different than whites living in the United States. So I think the couple um, that they didn't have the understanding that I think the misconception that because you are a Black American or that you're Black, that you're all the same and that you can just blend in and just, I'm just one with the other. I'm just the same as everybody else. And no, you're not. We are not. But sometimes you can have someone like it's more than just your phenotype, too. It's how you're dressed. How are you dressed? Are you wearing what the locals are wearing? And I noticed that many of the Black Americans or the West Indians that go to Africa or a place like Rwanda, that you wear things that might be Afrocentric, but it's not of that locale. It's a Westerner wearing Afrocentric clothes, but it's not. They're not. But you're not wearing clothes of the locals. You know, the traditional clothes there. And a lot of people in Rwanda, they do wear Western clothing. You know, they have jeans and a t-shirt. Okay, jeans and a t-shirt, and some of them have cell phones. But you find that even how people walk differently. I met someone from Jamaica that was relatively new in the States. They were at this um, place that I volunteered at, and she walked different. She walked like someone that lived in the mountains, you know, because how she braced it. Yeah, people walk differently. People walk differently. People speak differently. Now, they do speak English in Rwanda, but the way that Americans talking, American blacks speak English and how a Rwandan speaks English is totally different. Just like when we meet people, like I live in New York City, I meet people all the time, and there's multiple different accents, okay? And there's different lingo that, let's say, a Black American might speak, certain slang and stuff, and they don't have it over there. So that was something else I thought was something else. Yeah, just writing some notes down. Yeah, um, so that was a surprise, like they're staring. And so, sometimes here in New York City, I catch myself staring. I'm sorry. Yes, sometimes I see something really, worth looking at. Some things, so just imagine um, you're in a country and it really doesn't get a lot of, people from other countries, West Africans. They might have other people from East Africa that might move there because, the refugee situation in that part of the world. You have refugees, but they have a different look. And primarily the look of the Black American or Blacks from the Americas, we're West African in our blend, our African blend at least. We could be mixed with a little European, maybe a little Indian, right? But primarily from West Africa, and the West Africans are not the same as East Africa. Different looks, different looks. So that might attribute. Okay, they may be trying to figure out. Well, hey, what part of Africa are you from? They're curious. And remember something else, people. About 20 plus years ago. Sorry, let me get some water. My throat. Sorry about that. Let me get some water. Sorry about that. I guess an early morning voice. I'm sorry. so, so what happened now? What was I just say? Oh yeah, the stairs and everything. Um, oh, I forget what I was saying. I know something about the stairs, but okay, we're all not the same. And they might. Oh, I remember. Remember that country, Rwanda. Remember, 20 plus years ago, it had what they call a Holocaust. It had that's the right word, genocide. They had a major genocide. In 5 months, over 1 million people were murdered. 5 months. Oh my God. Now, it's a young, now Rwanda has a very young population. A lot of those people, adults, I mean, that happened in my lifetime. There are a lot of kids that are there now. A lot of kids. They may not have been told. In fact, what I heard is They're not supposed. No one's supposed to tell each other, one another, what ethnic group they belong to. Yet in Rwanda, you have different tribes, two major tribes. Okay, now they're all black, so they're all African, but you had different factions based on tribal affiliation slash um, gangs. Okay, think of it as gangs, as a parallel. The US have gangs, Africa has tribes. And something happened, and there was a massive genocide of people over. They're still finding bodies there. Now, they're not allowed to ask one another, oh, what's your tribe? Okay, so Black folk, don't ask people when you get to Africa, unless they share it with you. Don't ask a place that had genocide the past 20 something years, what your affiliation is, okay? So that's how that country is dealing with their history, okay? And so just imagine 20 something years ago, let's say you were an adult at the time and witnessed horrific things, and you don't know who's your friend or foe, right? You don't know who your friend or foe is. What could happen? Are they trying to find out, are you a good person? Who are you? Are you here to hurt me? Think of that, people. Think about it. Look at what happened the past 3 years in the U.S. This pandemic, as I call it. What happened? Weren't people afraid? You bet they were in New York City. There were people who were being stomped on in my neighborhood on camera. People physically attacking somebody, people verbally attacking someone because they didn't have a mask, even though the mask does not prevent viruses, doesn't prevent it from coming through the mask. And even Dr. Fauci said that some years ago, the mask does not bar against viruses, but why was it being pushed? So people lived in fear in the United States. Yeah, and I got afraid too. I was afraid. Um, yeah, you're afraid to, I wasn't afraid not to wear the mask. I didn't wear the, I didn't wear it. Um, but to enter into the hospital, I had to have it on. But once I got inside and past the security guards, I took that thing off. But anyways, so imagine a culture, a history, a recent history, and a genocide. Just because someone doesn't talk about an event doesn't mean that they're not feeling it. But look in the United States or in the Americas, slavery. People are still suffering because of slavery, the transatlantic slave trade. People don't trust anybody in our communities. It's getting worse. Uh, we have gangs. We're in instability in many of our communities. And here slavery ended officially about over 150 years ago. So that's over 150 years ago, and we're still suffering and still in pain. So just imagine people in Rwanda just 20 something years ago, and you're afraid. Something is going on. Why are you afraid? Yeah, you have a right to be afraid. You don't know who's your friend or foe. Okay, so that was another issue that complained about Rwanda. And then there was another thing, okay, I mentioned about the cars, the steering. Um, there was something else. But either way, people are leaving. because it was, it wasn't what they thought. And some people don't want to be. Um, some people just it's it may not be a good match. Yeah, these are just some of the things that I remember what the news said. So it's really something. That was the place where I was going to go to. About the steering, oh, what I was told about steering also. Um, Wave at them, say hello, say hello. Yeah. Um, yeah, because, what's the thing about staring now? Yeah, they could just be interested in you. So if present yourself friendly and say hello, and even here in the United States, I live in New York City, and I'm surrounded by people from other locations and other nations, and so I tell myself to say hello to people. If I'm walking, someone's looking, I just say hello. You nod and look. Yeah, people see we still need to connect with one another. And not people aren't necessarily staring at you because they're angry, whatever. They're curious. There's a lot of different ethnic groups, a lot of different everything. And you notice else, what else? Hairdos. Like American blacks might think wearing what we call dreadlocks, especially if the dreadlocks are in the early stage. Not everybody understands dreadlocks. And you know who else may have a problem with dreadlocks? The West Indies. I used to live in the West Indies for about 3.5 years. I moved there when I was an adult. I was in my 20s. And amongst the West Indies, the former British colonies, the English speaking islands there in the Caribbean, they're not into the old school. They're not into dreadlocks. That's a new phenomenon, relatively new. I moved there over 30 years ago. Okay, I live here now. I've been back to the States for over 20 years now, but I about 30 plus years ago, I had an opportunity to move there. I lived there for about 3.5 years, and I came back to New York City, where I'm from, where I'm born and raised. Yeah, dreadlocks. Not see, they promote certain things as if it's the standard. The West Indies is a very, very, very conservative. They're conservative in dress and hairstyle, especially back then. Excuse me, let me get some more water. Yeah, it's a very conservative place. And Black Americans may go to Jamaica, places like Jamaica. Now the dreadlocks thing, I think, started out in Jamaica with the Rastafarian movement. And yet, not everybody does marijuana. Now, that's a small sector of the population, Jamaica, that's in the Rastafarian movement. But the masses of the people is back in the day, they don't wear dreadlocks. They don't do the marijuana, um, and they're very conservative, and they're very religious. They're into religion, the church. I didn't live in Jamaica, but I lived in St. Thomas. Similar type of culture. We have many in St. Thomas. You have many people from the former British uh, territories in the Caribbean, and they moved to St. Thomas. So very similar uh, lifestyle, similar foods, and it's just similar. But they're not into dreadlocks. But I knew of people. And I met three people that had dreadlocks on that whole island. And in general, they are not liked. They're not liked. They're not into, yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. A little different setup today. I invite you to say hello in the chat room. So, yeah, so um, dreadlocks in the Caribbean, when I was there over 30 years ago, was considered like criminals wear their hair like that. That was the thought. Wild people, druggy people, drug dealer type people, and the West Indies is very conservative. So the lady that's giving the interview regarding Rwanda, um, she had her hair in little twists, and it was shaved. It was like shaving like a man cut, but on the top it was about an inch tall with these little micro twists. Now the people there in that part of the world, they don't wear their hair like that. So you're thinking, well, I'm being black, you're wearing your hair in a Afrocentric, hairstyle, but the people there don't wear their hair like that. Yeah. Yeah, when I was there, now when I went to the West Indies to live there, I had my natural hair I had an afro, and I thought, oh, okay, I want to be natural, and I wore my hair just in a fro. It was relatively short, like it was maybe an inch and a half when I got there, but it grew and it got big, and it was like a floppy afro. And the black people there, the black women that I met, they all encouraged me to straighten my hair. Yeah, people, see what you think. See, you think because you're in this new territory and we're black people. Not all black people are enlightened. Not all black people are into Afrocentric. I mean, does a frog say, "Oh, I want to be a frog"? A frog is, and a frog would do whatever what they feel like doing. Does a horse run? Okay, a horse doesn't have to say, "Oh, because I'm a horse." A horse is. It gallops when it feels like galloping. It runs when it feels like running, and when it feels like eating hay, it eats hay. It's not trying to be. It is, and that's the difference that many blacks from the Americas have to realize when they go into a place. The African continent. Okay, black people in Africa don't have to try to be black. They are. They be whatever what they want to be. They do what they want to do. They don't think like a person from the Americas. Okay. And so um, when you wear something that, in your opinion, is Afrocentric, do they wear that? And it seems like a lot of people in Africa, the women in Africa, they may wear a Eurocentric hairstyle. They may have their hair relaxed. Let's say they're a television announcer. They're not wearing something so-called Afrocentric. They usually have a Eurocentric. They have the hair relaxed, right? And some of the young girls now, that that not in the media, but they might wear their hair in box braids. That I do see in things in Africa, box braids, or they have their hair processed. And that's what I say. So they're not familiar with certain hairs. I mean, they're not used to it. So they're going to stare. Yeah. And so that could attribute why they're staring the way they are. Okay. Yeah. While I was also watching this video about Rwanda, um, two things come to my mind about it. Yeah, there were a lot of Yeah, there was a different video on Africa. That's right. So that was Rwanda, but the I was watching a program about what was it? It was an eating channel. The person that goes to different countries and they eat their foods. Culinary stuff, and that was in Ethiopia. Wow, they have a lot of agriculture. these grains and these green, bushes and things, green veggies stuff. Wow, I was amazed. And in one particular area, it was a shopping area for the early birds that buy the foods wholesale. They buy in bulk. And I noticed something, a lot of what we call Westernisms, hip hop and reggae. Yeah, I was surprised. And yeah, I was very, very, very surprised. They had like a graffiti wall. Well, okay, let me rephrase it. They had a mural along a long, long, long strip, graffiti style drawings of people, hip hop artists, the whole thing. And I think reggae also. But yeah, it's the youth there that they're promoting this there. But you know what else? What I saw among the mural there: poverty, decay, dirt, and filth. Oh, it was a lot of people. It was packed with people. Busy, busy, busy. That's one thing. When you go outside of the U.S., people work, boy. Oh yeah, the people are going to and fro, business, working, working, working. West Indies also. People aren't idle. You go and that's why probably they don't have any chairs for you to sit down. When I was in the West Indies, there were no benches. There was nothing there for you to just sit down and relax. Nothing like that. Why? Because you're there to work and not leisure. You have leisure inside your house. That's how I took it. Yeah. So only, let's say you go to a tourist place and you're at a resort. Okay, yeah, I'm sure you have somewhere you could sit down, but you're outside of that. You were in the mainstream live. There's nothing for you to sit down. Horrible. It was horrible. And that's what's different about places like that and a place like the US and New York City. In New York City, we got benches. New York City, they have these little like some apartment complexes in Manhattan. They have like a little trees, trees and benches for you to sit down at. We have Central Park and have tons of benches that you can sit down at. We have grass on the ground, so you can sit down on the grass in the park. It's set up in certain neighborhoods that you're going to have like a playground for you. They want you to socialize, but in areas where it's very um, has a high concentration of Black people, people of the West Indies, the Caribbean, the so-called third world of the Americas. You're not going to have it in your neighborhood, really. Yeah, or it's not going to be kept up. I'm being honest. Yeah, just start noticing. You go to a richer area where you have a lot of white people. Do they have parks and places for you to sit down? Or let's say at the shopping mall, do you have chairs to sit down on, benches? Yes, you do, but not places that catering to a lot of Black people. Like you go to Brooklyn, went to what they call downtown Brooklyn, and it was in the summer, and the heat was unreal. I had to bring my dog to the veterinarian. That's the only reason why I was in Brooklyn. I don't like Brooklyn, so no benches. I'm walking around place to sit down because I have a long wait because my dog had to get what it had. It had to have surgery, and I didn't want to go all the way back to Manhattan and then all the way back to Brooklyn to pick up my dog. I wanted to stay local. They don't want you to be comfortable. They don't want you what you call loitering. They don't want that. They don't want to cater to you and to your needs. And finding food, God, that was another problem. Anyway, I'm going a little bit off the topic. Yes, good morning, viewers. Good morning, good morning. Yes, I invite you all to say hello in the chat room. So, also what I was saying now. So, um, yeah, so in this video on the hip hoppers, yes, good morning, viewers. Good morning. Yes, it's a little different setup. I'm just trying it out on StreamYard and just seeing how it goes. Yes. So I'm not in my bedroom. I'm in my living room, and it's early morning. So no, I don't want to show my face. So, but I shown this picture. So I hope it's not too spooky for you guys. So, anyways, so getting back to that topic about the um, this video I was watching the other day on they were featuring Ethiopian food, and they were showing the environment, and that it was like in a urban center, and it was so many people, and the mural, the graffiti mural on the wall, um, and the poverty that I associated with it. I didn't like it, people. I wasn't happy. I'm being honest. I was not happy to see that in Ethiopia that they were featuring graffiti art. I don't like graffiti, and I don't want to see it. I don't like it. I hate it. And why I hate it, I associated it with poverty. I associate it with social decay. I associate it with violence. Now, these people in Ethiopia, they probably, just looking at it as, oh, it's something Western, so it's something important, it's something cool. They're probably watching, they have cell phones, some people there have computers, and they're probably watching music videos. I know the that hip hop music is in Africa. It's in North Africa too. They call it a different name in North Africa. I think they call it Rai in North Africa. But that type of influence, hip hop, rap, I don't like it. I don't like it, and I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy that this was imported to that part of the world. Yeah, when I'm overseas, I want to see things that are indigenous to that part of the world. I don't want to see Americanisms. I don't like it. I associate it with evil, danger. And just notice it. Look at it. Does it have a spirit of peace and love? No, in my opinion. No. And I wish these hip hop art, or what we call it, graffiti artists, I wish that they would put their work in a music, rent a building and put your artwork in there. Because I don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. Many of us don't want to see graffiti and violence. I don't like it. Yeah. And then I ask myself, I know these are strong words, people, but you know, I'm being honest about my feelings. And maybe you too, when you look at these so called art, that you might feel the same thing. See, if it's pushed in your face, see, that's the difference. When something is pushed in your face, all over the buildings, like in New York City, they put it by on your window, they put on it's not like presented as art. Now, I could say, when something is presented and like some buildings are giving that they give a contract to someone to do a mural, a beautiful mural. Okay. And yes, they're making, the style, but it was commissioned. But not that other art, when they write their name for territory. See, a lot of the graffiti that you see is for territory, indicating who owns that spot, for doing drug deals. That's what they're about. And that's what I'm again. I mean, true art, something that's presented as art, that's crafted. I'm not talking about that type of graffiti. I'm talking about those things that are used as markers of territory, or when they throw their sneakers on the electric lines, the telephone lines. That's another thing that's ugly. Okay, you know what I'm talking about, people. So, but when I saw this in Ethiopia, there was a whole wall, and I said, no, I don't like this. Remember, people, music has an um, it has an energy, and it's the energy of modern rap music. I'm saying about modern rap music. Is it to promote peace, love, joy, wealth, happiness, unity? Is it that? No. The areas where they have that type of music playing and blasting, start noticing people. Do those people where that music is being played, are they happy looking? Are they well fed? Are they clean? Do they have clean streets? Are there abuses? Do you see broken glass? Do you see people begging for money? Do you see people shooting drugs? That is usually the reality of what you see out there. And with that, people, it's a spirit attached to that. And they're pushing out this so called music and graffiti in these areas of the world. And with it, it's problems. God have mercy for these people there in Ethiopia. Yeah. And then I asked myself when I was watching this graffiti art, I asked myself, hey, um, where do the people of money, I'm sure in Ethiopia you have people with money, okay? What type of music do they listen to? What type of music do the rich in Ethiopia listen to? What do they watch? What do their communities look like? In these wealthy Ethiopian or other African nations that are wealthy, do they watch that crap? Do you have graffiti in their neighborhoods? Most likely, people, the answer, I give you the answer, no, 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 no. It ain't going to be there. They don't have to try to be African. They are African. You know, a butterfly doesn't have to try to act like a butterfly. It is. But it's people in the Americas that we want to prove that we're something, that we want to prove that we're Black or African or Afrocentric. You don't have to try to be what you are. And I think that's a problem of what I used to face and what many of us face. We're trying to be, you don't have to try to be, you are. You are magnificent. You are loving. You are caring. That is your true nature. But you just forgot who you are. Be. Just be. You don't have to be anything else but you. And you don't need these nasty, nasty rap artists. Oh, yeah, a lot of people in the rap community is coming out. I don't follow that genre, but of course, I have a computer, and yes, I go on the internet, and of course, I see what's going on, what's being streamed on the news. I can't avoid it. But you're seeing a lot of these rap artists are members of the alphabet soup community, and they are sexualizing little children. There's a famous rap artist who's now an adult, but when he was first coming out, getting into the music industry in the 1980s, he was being groomed by another artist who's older than him and had to live with him. And this now young man from the 1980s is now a father. And someone asked him recently, "Oh, would you have your child live with so and so?" And he said very quickly, "Hell no." Yes. Yeah, I used to think like initially wasn't the hip hop rap scene about um, tapping into your humanity, your soul, right? Right. It was to assert yourself, right? Those are all good. But what did it turn into? It turned into a cesspool, and the people in the industry are not seeking refuge within their own community. You're your own enemy. You are your own enemy. Ah, oh God, yeah. So all these, you're getting these black artists, and then they pretend that they can help out another younger artist, and you predate against them. You do things to their body unthinkable. That's what's coming out, and you're doing each other. And rather than learning from your experience, you say, "I'm going to violate the next person who approaches me." Shame on you. Shame on you for thinking and doing that. Elevate, people. Elevate your mind. Elevate your mind. We're all a work in progress. All of us, including me. I'm a work in progress. The real enemy is a person in the mirror. But we're pointing figures. And see, we're still painting about this history that we have in America, in the Americas. Yes, it was a 400 plus years of trauma, and we pointed fingers outside of ourselves. And yes, in the beginning, it might have been outside of ourselves, but now it's in our community. We are predating our own community. We are violating ourselves. We are violating our neighbors. We're violating the streets. We're throwing garbage on the street. We're violating ourselves by putting graffiti of anger. We're violating ourselves by having these multiple sex parties, partners. Oh, yes, and parties. And then you don't know who is the father of your child. And you go on those weird ass talk shows inquiring, who is the father? Shame on you. Who's responsible for that? You. You are responsible for your own body. You are responsible for the choices you make, people, not outside of yourself. No, it's about you. We're forgetting that. We initially were taught that a particular narrative was the truth, but sometimes truth changes and life changes. And it's about you to become aware of what's going on. We're being deceived, community. We are being globally deceived about what's going on. Yeah, they could put out new broadcasts on the internet and we eat it up, all of us. We start to point fingers at everybody else. We are being deceived to mistrust. The media is being weaponized. Media is being weaponized. They're very clever, people. They're very clever. They're using politics, sex politics, gender politics, race politics. Stop the insanity. They are deceivers and deceptors. There's deception going on. And they have mastered our reality. They have mastered the way we think. I'm just like everybody else. And so that I start to get sucked into the politics. Wow. Yeah, these are master artists. They know human nature. They know how we work and think. And they press our buttons. They've mastered it over the last 3 years, especially taking sides based on what political party you belong to or what candidate you want to promote. Here in New York City, people were beating up someone because they think that they might have voted for somebody or been a supporter of a particular politician. Isn't it about freedom of choice, people? Not all Black people think alike. Not all of us even look alike. Some of us are short. Some of us are tall. Some of us are skinny. Some of us are fat. Some of us are thin, are light. Some of us are dark, etc., etc. We're all different people, but we're all expressions of this thing called life. We are a garden. You go to a garden, people, and you see all varieties of things that are showing. That's all. Being different, looking different, speaking different, eating different foods, that's like a garden. And so, isn't variety the spice of life? Isn't it, people? Variety is the spice of life. Let us remember that. And let me remember this also. When you get tempted, when you get tested, someone's pressing your buttons, try to remember, hey, are you being tested? Is someone just trying to trigger you? Yeah, there are beings out there that are trying to trigger you, to manipulate you because they have an agenda. Start noticing things like that. Start noticing about behavior changes. Start noticing if, like, you're on the computer and all of a sudden you start to feel sick, you start to feel nauseous, you start to feel a panic or an anxiety attack. Well, there's a thing called 5G. 5G, people, could be at play. These electromagnetic fields that are being emitted, especially if you live in a large city like New York City, like where I do, where I live. Yeah, these these computer towers, they could affect your behavior. Start noticing that. Start noticing behavior changes or getting triggered. Try to back up and say, okay, what just happened? What just triggered me? What, start using your might to try to manage your feelings and behavior. Okay. Okay. The next topic. I know I'm talking about other things too in this live stream. Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about. Hey, what is paradise? Yeah, I wanted to talk about this for a while. Paradise. Yes, I had the opportunity, people, to move to what's called paradise. Yes, after my stay in the military, um, 5 months after I got out of the military, I moved to the West Indies, the U.S. Virgin Islands of St. Thomas. Oh, yes, it's a pretty island. It's very hilly. It's physically attractive. And growing up, I've heard the word paradise, and when you retire, oh, retire to paradise, right? You see all these commercials, these older people, middle-aged people, and they go to what they call paradise. Some of these places are in the West Indies. Some of them might be in Southeast Asia, some of it is in what they call Latin America, right? The sun and sand, right? We're taught that that's paradise. Paradise. Where did you first hear that word paradise, people? Let me get a little water here. Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, I got my water next to me. Yeah, people, where did you first hear that term paradise? Isn't it in the Bible, in the New Testament, about Adam and Eve? See, this is a program, people. That is a program. In my opinion, again, your faith system is your business, and whatever serves you, you serve it. But in my opinion, about the Bible, and I used to be a Bible believer. I used to be a Christian, but not anymore. But you can learn from the Bible, the Old and the New Testament. There's some great principles that are in it. But I learned that the Bible is a code book. The Bible is a program. It is a program to program the way you think about yourself. And it also orchestrates how men and women treat and feel about one another. The earliest thing about men and women is that um, Eve uh, encouraged her husband to eat of the forbidden fruit, but it doesn't focus, it makes her look like a trickster, and she never tried to trick him. She was tricked. She was tricked by the serpent, right? There was no deception in Eve, but yet Eve is perceived as a trickster, made man fall, but they were both deceived. They both didn't know what's the agenda of the snake or the serpent, right? So that's the first thing, antagonism between men and women. And then the other thing was about paradise. And also the book of Revelation talks about the paradise, right? Oh, the God, okay, my correction. Garden of Eden. But the Garden of Eden, in general, people call that paradise. And in the New Testament with the book of Revelation or the Apocalypse, um, they use the term the Garden of Eden, right? So this is for my first like introduction to the term, and it was something that a term that is to long for, and something that you get at the end of life, right? Just like in the Bible, it's in the end. That was the last chapter in the Bible, so it's about conclusion, finality, right? This paradise. One thing when they talk about the paradise that it had a garden. It was like that, like they had, oh, it had its stream, it had a street of gold. I remember here reading, but mostly it was something that's supposed to have been like a warm place, agriculture. And the Caribbean or the tropics is considered a paradise, at least in American market. They promote living in the tropics as paradise. Well, some people don't like the hot weather. Oh no, and some people don't like insects or mosquitoes. And some people don't like walking on sand. Hello. Yeah, when I got to I moved to the Caribbean. And my reason for the Caribbean, I had to look for work, and it was winter time. And I couldn't, I did office work and typing for a living at that time. And you can't get your fingers moving if they're frozen, right? I was living in New York City and it was cold. So I said, I can't find work here. This time of year, it's too cold. Let me move to a warm place. And so I took a chance. I said, well, I know there's a lot of black people. Again, my assumption. I said, oh, let me move to the Caribbean. There are black people there, and I'll be able to blend right in, right? as a black woman, black American woman. But yes, I am of Caribbean ancestry. Just putting it out there, but not from St. Thomas. But anyways, so I moved there sight unseen. I didn't. I've never been there before. To that island. Is part of the U.S. Um, and I took a shot. Um, but things like that, another thing when I came out of the military, before I got out, I said, um, I want to live in a nice place after I move, leave the military. Yes, hello, viewer. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. I invite you all to say hello in the chat room. So, anyways, I yeah. So when I was in the middle, just before I got out, I did say to myself, uh, "Oh, why do I have to wait till I retire to live in paradise or an island?" Like I thought, oh, you're supposed to. The media taught me, oh, I'm supposed to live on an island somewhere, surrounded by water, with palm trees. So I said, why do I have to wait until I'm old and gray to live in a place like that for retirement? Live there now. So that's what I did. So yes, the weather was warm, and it was winter time, and I needed to look for work, and it wasn't going to happen. This job market here. So I moved to the U.S. Virgin Islands of St. Thomas, and I lived there for 3.5 years. And people, wow, this thing called paradise. People, paradise is a state of mind. I'll just write another note here. The stroller. Yes, sometimes when I start to talk to you guys, I get, something comes to my memory to maybe talk about if I have time. Yeah, so, yeah, what is this paradise? I was supposed to be in paradise. And was this paradise I was living? Yes, the weather was beautiful. Uh, yeah, it was sunny most of the time. But was this paradise living? Well, let me tell you, people. See, there's a lot of things they don't really show you. When you watch those videos on YouTube about retirement and going to these places to live, you know, that is supposed to be happy ever after. No, uh, paradise is your state of mind. I tell you that up front. Paradise, people, is a state of mind. Paradise is not a location. Paradise is never a location. It's your state of mind. But yes, we understand the concept of your final, your final years. The latter years, I should say, your latter years. You want to live with more ease and comforts and amenities, right? You want those, yes. You initially work to gather your nuts, what you're gonna need to survive. And once you've acquired what you're going to require to acquire in your life, then you kind of, you live off of what you have. And so, yeah, island life is hard life. And actually, I'm actually living on an island, Manhattan Island. It's an island, but it's very congested. I think several million people on this island. It's a long, skinny island, but it's an island, and it's right off of the mainland of the United States. Yes, New York City, Staten Island, Manhattan Island, Roosevelt Island. What else? Oh, Long Island. These are all islands, but there's the sense of paradise is not here. Yeah, it's rush, rush, rush. And but one thing, yeah, the Caribbean, um, it is a different pace. The locals, it was a little slower pace. I also, many of you know, I also lived in Hawaii, the island of Maui. That's in the Pacific, and that one I moved in uh, 98. Yeah, I moved to St. Thomas in 1990, and then in 98. Wow, I can't believe it. Yeah, in 98, I moved to Maui. And I, yeah, Maui was a little bit more laid back. Again, I was older, and I remember more about Maui because I was older, uh, while living in St. Thomas a little younger. Um, but yeah, yeah, Maui, I think, well, they have the thing like, um, to be laid back and everything, the aloha spirit. Um, but I saw a lot there in both places. The local population there, um, they have a different mindset from one another. They have a different history, but at the same time, kind of similar because the people in the West Indies, primarily, they were brought there, in the transatlantic slave trade, and while in Hawaiian Islands, those are the indigenous people there, and they got their land taken away from them. Um, and their monarchy was never released. They still have a monarchy, but it's not really recognized. So your culture, your society taken over. So there is a backlash for both things. They're both. I think they're both feeling it. Hawaii has a lot of drugs, but the drug. What's really weird, the drug scene in Hawaii. They're real laid back. You could be, doing drugs, but you're friendly. But you go in the West Indies, boy, ooh wee, they have a different edge. Yeah, the West Indies or Saint, they have a sharper edge. Ooh, I hope I didn't offend anybody, but I'm talking about my experiences. Yeah, but was this paradise living? Yes, it was nice and sunny and green, but was it paradise? And I had to tell myself, no, it was not. I had to be honest. My last, I talk about the Hawaii, because it was more recent. When the year I left in 2001 in the summer. It was June. No, 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 wait a minute. Oh, yes, yes, it was. It was mid June, like the June 18th, something like that. And I was sitting on the floor in my studio apartment and I was crying. And I said to myself, Azalea, yeah, that's my name, Azalea. And I asked myself, are you staying in Hawaii because you want to be able to tell people you live in Hawaii like it's something glamorous? Or do you really like it here? Or do you really like it here? Or no? And I had to be honest. I told myself, I don't like it here. I want to go back to the mainland, to back to New York City. So yeah, so I eventually left. And am I glad about that? I think it was for the better. It was a the climate is very beautiful. But it was time for me to leave. I met some wonderful, 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 a wonderful family there. Yes, a wonderful family, and they were the best. In Hawaii, you call it no kaoi. No kaoi. That means the best. Any Hawaiians in the house? No ka oi. Yes, you are no ka oi. Yeah, I like the little phrases I was learning. Aloha, mahalo. That means hello and thank you. Things like that. I like things like that. I had some wonderful moments in Maui, Hawaii. Wonderful moments. But I don't think um, I don't think it was to be for long. It had its purpose. It had its season. And I came back to New York City in 2001. And a month and a half later, the September thing happened and it changed everything. Yeah, my plan was to move back to Maui like in 2 years. Well, that September event changed everything for the world. So, paradise. So, I'm here in New York City and I'm looking outside right now, my window in my living room, and I see my beautiful ponytail plant. It's grown very nicely. I have to trim it a little bit, but it's growing nice. Oh, and the sun is out. Yeah, it was very rainy for the past few days. And so me and my babies, my little doggy woggies, stayed home. But yes, I would like for us to go out today and enjoy this island life. Yes, I'm in New York City, the island of Manhattan Island. I always loved Manhattan. And I mean, you could do everything here. You can walk anywhere. You could get any type of food you want. But you know, what's happening here? Is this really paradise? Well, it caters to my needs, much of my needs, but it needs resuscitation. New York City is in a state of growing pains again. Yeah, this the past 3 years after the, as I call it, a that there was a pandemic. Uh, it affected a lot of people, a lot of fear, a lot of anger, a lot of violence, a lot of filth on the street. We had rats. I mean, I personally saw them. I still went outside during that episode. Yeah, we get up early to walk my dogs. And all along this particular avenue, there was a swarm. I'm not talking about one or two or even five, but a swarm of rats by a pile of garbage. Yeah, it was filthy. Here is supposed to be about health and wellness, and yet the city didn't clean the streets of severe, severe garbage. Hello. See, that's how I knew also was a BS, this whole thing. Yeah. Uh, well, yeah, I can't talk about too much about that. They might, I don't want to offend any, because I'm still getting videos pulled. Yeah, a video of mine was pulled yesterday or the day before yesterday. A video that is almost, what's it, about a year and a half old. It was done December of 2021. No, 2020. Yeah, it was done in 20. Yeah. Oh my goodness. December of 2020. And it was pulled because they said violation of something. Yes, I talked about a lot of little things about Christmas and about, you know, the the social politics of that time. And they're still trying to penalize me. Yeah. Yeah, before I forget, I do have another channel. Like, um, eventually they may pull this channel. Yeah, I had many of my, they put me on the bad girl list. A timeout several times over the year. The past 12 months. Yes, they did, and yeah, I can't post or do anything on YouTube, and they keep doing this. They don't like what I talk about people. And so they're getting I perceive that what they're doing is based on what happened, based on what I'm saying. They say, okay, I know you did videos that's 2 years old, but we're going to get you based on what you talked about 2 years ago, and as a warning. See, they don't want me to share with you. And so they strategically say, oh, you said something about something. And so we're going to pull the video, or we're going to block you. Oh, God. Yeah, this is what they do. So I do have a Rumble account. Rumble. It's called Azalea's World. Azalea's World. Azaleas, and then the word world, W-O-R. Oh, I'm sorry. WORLD. Azalea's World. That is my backup. I did link my YouTube channel with um, Azalea's World channel on, what's that, on Rumble. Okay, it is up. It didn't put everything up, but at least it links something. It didn't do it completely. Maybe I have to try it again. I did see that there are videos there for you to watch. Just a FYI, if you don't see me any my channel up anymore, whatever, go there to Azalea's World on Rumble. Okay. So anyway, but back with this paradise thing. Now, what is paradise? Yeah, I had to be honest with myself, people, about paradise. And, I share these things because, see, sometimes people may um, not, they get afraid and they hide because of shame, and they want people to think certain things. They're going to think, oh, if I tell people the truth, you're going to think I'm a loser and all these things. No, people are going to think you're honest. And that, see, we need honesty these days. We need people who are bold enough to tell the truth, that, hey, this was not paradise. And that paradise ultimately is your mind. What's in your mind? What's your state of mind? And so, even though I chose to leave Hawaii and I chose to leave the West Indies, the island of St. Thomas, it was not, I was, there were just so many issues. Yeah, one thing that these YouTube videos were about the retirement thing, or being a, what do you call it, expat or a digital nomad, they fail. You got to listen, people. They fail to talk about the social implications of you moving to a place. You are not an island unto yourself. You affect other people as well. You, whatever what you do. And I thought, oh, I'm a black person. Oh, I'll just go to the West Indies. I do not talk like I'm from that part of the world. And even amongst people from the Caribbean, they don't like each other. Each of the islands have slightly different accents. And let's say you speak a different language other than English, then you're going to have even bigger accent difference. Yeah, there is bigotry within different islands. Oh, you bet, people. Yeah. And they got names for people from certain islands, you know? I'm just being real. I just want you to know. I don't want you to be in the dark that like I was. I assumed. I assumed, oh, I won't have racism. You're wrong. I was wrong. People see what is different. They don't see what is similar. I had some good moments. I met some really nice people there, but you have to realize you're not an island unto yourself. People read everything, even go to different neighborhoods. I'm born and raised in New York City, but let's say if I go into some other neighborhood in Manhattan, I'll stand out like a sore thumb, or go in parts of Brooklyn. People have what I call energy signatures. We have different energy signatures. We may walk slightly different. We may talk slightly different. We may wear certain type of clothes that might be different. We may wear our hairstyles a little different. Okay, they're minute differences, but they scream out different when you're amongst them. But sometimes individuals have an energy signature, even though they might be dressed a little different, but they're they're how do you say that like they're indoctrinized, if I could say that. It's just something that they blend in. So it's not strictly race. Like even in New York City, where I live, there's a lot of different everythings. And so it's not that you're not of the same race, but you still blend it. You still have that signature that, yes, you reside in this community. You're part of it. Yes, you look different, but you have the same signature that you are not an alien, so to speak. And when I say alien, I don't mean illegal. I mean just that signature that says, yes, you're a local person. Okay. So, paradise. Yeah, I was learning that paradise is not an island, but I believed that it was. And I believe that's what I had to aim for in some level because when you retire, you're supposed to move to some quiet place. Yeah, I was brainwashed. Yeah, I was a TV addict. Yep. I was a TV addict and I believed everything. I believed a lot of it. It was a program. And one of the programs is when you get up there, in age, you're supposed to live in paradise. It's not all that it cracks to be. Living on an island, it's usually more expensive. I'm talking about the tropics. When I say an island, I'm talking about a tropical place. Um, it's you have to import goods. Um, you may not have the variety, um, and it might be slower pace. So if you're an American slash Westerner, you expected everything done like yesterday. They don't have the same mindset. Yeah. And again, about race and color, they may not like who you are. And black folk, they may not like other black foreigners. They may treat white people better. They understand the white people. They understand the history with them so they can relate to them. But how are they going to relate to another so-called black person from with a different history from them? That might be a challenge for them. Okay. So paradise. Yeah, whatever what your paradise is, I hope you achieve it and find it. I hope you do. I hope you find true paradise. But it just being an island. And in the tropics, you're going to have a rude awakening, people. I mean, I still kind of look at the tropics. I would prefer. Let's see, what type of place would I prefer? Not too hot, not too cold. I want something right in the middle. Yeah, that's my personality. I'm always in the middle. Yeah, I'm a middle person. I don't want extremes, but I'm right in the middle. And New York City, actually, well, the summers are getting hot, people. Yeah, my dogs don't like the heat, and I'm kind of like stuck. In the summer is approaching, and past a certain hour, it's too hot to go outside. Yeah, so I would be forced to continue getting up early to get my walk going and then get home before the sun is really up there. It is unbelievable. And yes, as you get older, people, um, your body. doesn't respond the same way. You know, your body takes longer to regulate its body heat, so your cooling mechanism is not as efficient. And in your youth, you might have loved that hot that hot sun. I cannot yeah, my body is not that good with it anymore. So yeah, I get can get like anxiety, like you feel like your body is getting anxiety. So weather like right now, like I could tell that it's a little cool. I feel a cool breeze coming in, you know, getting through the what do you call it, the wall. So you can tell that it's a slight, yeah, I think it's in the 40s right now, upper 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you wear like a nice jacket, cover your neck, you're good to go. And when it's sun outside, it is spectacular. So right now, it looks beautiful. The sun is out. Not too many clouds. The far distance there's some clouds, but it's baby blue. Powdery blue sky. It's nice. So yeah, I want to enjoy today. Oh, there's one other topic I want to talk about. Yeah, I know this is getting kind of long, but this was important, I think. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I went to a different park, and I saw something that really touched my heart. Yeah, I saw a man, a looked like a Black American man, tall, slim, and he was wearing a beautiful, a nice suit, a very fitted jacket and slacks and nice leather shoes, clean shoes. He could have been in his 30s, early 40s, and this was in the afternoon. What time was it? Yeah, yeah, this was the afternoon actually. Yeah, so it could have been maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And he had a baby stroller. Let me talk about this. Yeah, I had my little babies, my little doggy woggies, walking beside me. I had their stroller, and when I get to the park, I take them out of the stroller, and they're always to me. Yeah, um, and we were all walking. And I think I nodded to the guy, No, I wasn't making a pass at him, but just, saying hello. He didn't say anything. He didn't really respond, but he seemed to be in thought. And he had twins. Yes. And based on the color of the stroller, one was pink and the other was blue. I speculate he had a boy and girl. Yeah. Um, Yeah, he had twins, and it touched my heart, people. Yeah, this is a very important message that I want to talk about. In New York City, I very rarely see, and this is not about it. I'm not trying to shame anybody, but just sharing with you as a black woman, a so-called black woman. Yeah, I say it like that, so-called black woman, because I'm just a person. We're all people. We're not colors, but again, we belong to a social environment, and this is what we're called socially, But I saw a man and a proud father, a man who was clean. He was clean shaven. He looked neat. My impression, I mean, I just had an impression he might be a basketball player or something, a sports person. Just something said, I think he's some type of celebrity. Yeah, short hair. Yeah, he was a well-groomed man wearing a suit, nice. What do you call it, blazer and slacks. Slim slacks. Brown shoes. I think was polished leather. Nice. And he walked slowly, deliberately with his twins in a stroller. Yes, you could. Yeah, I hardly ever see this. I've seen at a different park. a younger guy, he could have been in his 20s or early 30s. And he had a stroller. Oh, one kid, it looked like a little girl. And he was a proud father, walking the kid in the stroller. These were infants. These were little infants. And I was so ecstatic to see this. And why am I sharing this? Well, a lot of urban centers, areas where you have a large so-called Black population, Black American population, we don't see families. We don't see Black families together walking in leisure. And especially, you don't see Black men with their children and strolling them. And when I saw this, my heart leaped for joy. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I want to commend you, men out there who love your children, who want to be a part of their kid's life. And I think people, I want to say this publicly. See, I believe people, um, I am slowly seeing a different story with men of the Black American community. Um, they are often vilified, etc., etc. And you know what? I come to the conclusion. Yes, you have some individuals who are need to be enlightened, but I'm seeing that there is an undertow that there are men out there who just want to be given a chance to be men. You have men who just want a chance to prove that they are men. I see, but ladies, you have to learn how to see. Learn how to see. Learn how to see the truth, what is underneath. You have individual men of the Black community, the American Black community, who want families. They want women who love them, who want to give them a chance to prove that they are men, that they want to be men. They want to be treated as men. They want families. Black American men want families of their own, in my opinion. In my opinion, what I'm seeing here in New York City, I live in the heart of New York City. I see everything, all different groups. But when I saw that man with a stroller, and he had to be prepared to do that, he was dressed nicely. He'd probably have the paraphernalia, the diapers, the food, right? This guy was there to stroll his twins, his boy and girl, little infants, little ones. Maybe 2 months old, they might have been, little ones. And he's given the opportunity to walk with his strength, his progeny, his future as a man. I believe, people, that Black America, that there is hope for us, and that these Black men, Black American men, just want a chance for people to believe in them, to give them a chance to show dignity. If given the opportunity, they too will be polished looking. I look at there's a picture that I've seen of my grandfather. I did not know my grandfather on my father's side, but there is a photo that I saw of when my own father he was about 3 or 4 years old in the photo, and his father was probably in his early 40s at the time of the photo. So my father was about 4 and he was about maybe 43, 44 years old, okay? And they're holding hands, and my grandfather is wearing a beautiful suit. So this was in the 1930s, the early 30s. In the 1930s, men wore business suits. They wore what we call business suits. They wore suit. They wore a suit and tie and a hat. That was a must. You wore hats. And my father was wearing a little suit also. Yes, he was. He was wearing a little jacket. And I think it was slacks or shorts. A yeah, yeah. There were slacks and little shoes. Yeah, and so here, this is in the 1930s, and this is during the Depression. You know, they had what they call the Depression. The 1920 it started in 1929. The World Depression. It lasted for many years, and people were in poverty. And yes, my father knew poverty. But even though they were so called poor, they had a mind, they had desires, and they knew about presentation. They wore their best. Whatever what they had, they wore their best. Yeah, men at least had one suit, at least in the city areas. They had at least one, so what they call your Sunday best. People what used to go to church back in those days. You had at least your Sunday best. So whether you're poor or whatever, you had at least one suit that was clean. That if you needed to go to church or something or a funeral, you had that one piece, right? And ladies had at least one Sunday dress, right? They had dignity. This is during the Depression era. They didn't have food stamps back then. They didn't have the social services like they have now, but they had dignity and there was community. People talked together. People associated with each other. People mingled. People did not have cell phones. You notice now people have all these cell phones, but no communication. There is no communication. People leaving messages, people yelling at each other, but no communication. There is no sharing of the heart. And when I saw that picture of my father with his father, it was beautiful. And men really want family. And I know the common, I mean, the new genre out there is, what do you call it? Something Joe, or was it passport bros? That's a new expression I heard this year for the first time. Passport bros. It's a term referring to black men who feel they need to move overseas because their own don't want them and they want to find what they call a traditional woman. Yeah, I feel you guys. I feel you. I mean, some of you are immature, but some of you I understand it. And it, it's, see, it's the propaganda. Yeah, you're not appreciated here in America. You're not. But this is the propaganda that's being used against you and towards each other. Yeah, but when I saw that man with the twins in the stroller, a black man wearing a beautiful suit, and he's maybe in his 30s or 40s. I think he was a celebrity, one of those sports people. I could be wrong, but that was my impression. Yeah, I can sense that conservativeness. I mean, he looked like an urban guy, a local guy, but you can tell that he has um, um, there's something to him, something that of a maturity, of a professionalism behind him. Um, yeah, when I saw that, yeah, I see that there are men out here who want to be given a chance. And I think deep down in their heart, they would love to find a woman from their own community to give them a chance. Yeah, that chance is still available, men. There are women um, who are out there who just want a man. They want a man that's going to be by their side. They want a man that they could rely on. But we all know here in America that the social system here is designed to keep you apart. But I'm saying people don't fall for the melee. It's social engineering. Please, please give one another a chance. I know that both sides are hurting, but we mistrust one another, and that's socially engineered. The ladies are becoming, I'm going to say the word, lesbians, and the guys are becoming Fruit Loops. Yeah, in New York City, that's what's being promoted. The ladies are told, "Oh, you don't need a man," and the guys are saying, "Hell, I'm just going to wear my pants sagging down, do my marijuana in the street, um, and think that I'm Tinkerbell." Yeah, you have some of the guys who think that they're girls here in New York City. I kid you not. Well, these are lies, people. Distortions. We need one another, and we need community, and we need to be honest with ourselves. What's hurting us? Yeah, and just because maybe your own families might have fell apart, maybe your dad wasn't around, or maybe your mom was out of commission. Okay, that happened. But if you know in your heart what you want, you want family. You want to be able to have your woman by your side, acting and behaving like a woman. And you want your man standing by your side, acting like a man. And you want to see your little baby taken care of in the stroller, right? You want that. Isn't that a beautiful picture? That is beautiful. And you can have that. One man, one woman. Don't go for a harem. Don't go for that. See, that's the deception. See, they don't want the children to know who their parents are. So they're pushing all this. Hey, you got your multiple wives, or wifelets. Don't go for that. It hurts the children. It really does. Where's my daddy? How come my daddy's not here? Well, your daddy's with some other family right now. Don't do that to the children. One man, one woman together, arm in arm, having a plan for your life. It's all for yours if you want it, if you really want that. I know, looking at that man, he was so proud to work with his child in that stroller. Did you know a real man takes pride in his progeny? They love it. Make your man feel like a man at home. Throw out that fucking TV set or that computer. Stop being deceived. Excuse my language. Throw it out. And you decide for yourself, couple. Let's say you're not married, but you're just living with each other. Okay, if that's who you chose for your life partner, then that's your life partner. Throw out those TV and those foolish music videos, and you hold your partner's hand, and you look into each other's eyes, and you say, we can do it. Let's do this together. Let's do this together as a family, as a partnership, as something with integrity and honor. It's yours. If you choose it to be, choose it and it is yours. Choose it and it is yours. Hold each other in the hand right now. If you hear this video and you got your partner there or your spouse there, hold their hands right now and look into their eyes if they're awake. and tell each other that you love one another, or you want to grow to love them more, and say, this is our partnership. This is our contract together to be loyal to one another. Throw out those drugs. Throw out that marijuana. Throw out that alcohol. Throw it out. Throw it out. Clean that house today. It is yours in the taking to reestablish a true family. You can do it right now. Throw out that garbage. You got so-called friends that are jealous of you because you're together. Jealous people who don't want you to succeed. Throw them out. Throw them out of your life. Just stop calling them and they'll get the hint. You say, today, honey, darling, we are family. And I'm going to take the responsibility from this forward on. You are my woman, you are my man, or you are my husband, you are my wife. And we're going to do this together as a community, as individuals and as a community. I'm going to take my responsibility as a man, and I'm going to take care of my child. And I'm going to take my child for walks. Hold that baby in your arms right now and tell that baby, I love you. And I'm sorry for any mistake I've made. I am sorry. And that woman say the same. You hold that baby in your arm or your children's arm, hold them in your arms and look in the eyes and say, I am sorry. I am sorry I failed you. But this time on, we're going to do it together as a family. I am sorry. And we're going to go to the park as a family. And we are one in family. We're going to make this work. We're going to put our minds together as a family to re-educate ourselves as a family. That you're going to teach yourself a viable, honest skill to earn income, to earn an honest living, and to be good role models for our children and our community. Yes, when I saw that man in the park, he was tall, lean, a lean machine, walking in power. You should have seen that dude. He walked in power in the park by himself with his little twins in this stroller, a big stroller for the two babies, two little baby. They could have maybe 2 months old even. One pink, one blue. They were all together. It was one unit. Babies on their back. Oh, it was so beautiful. He was so proud. Women, if you could only see what I see. There are men out there who want to be given a chance to really prove manhood. If given the chance, stop being the BITC age, stop being nasty to him, and start giving words of encouragement and say, I love you. I love you. We can do this together. I love you, no matter what. We can do this together. And yes, men, women need encouragement too. We need encouragement. Tell us that you love us, that you love us, not love us because of what we can give you sexually, but love us for who we are. You slept with that woman. And so you have a commitment to that person. And especially if you formed a baby with that person. Let us mature together. Throw away childish things in your life, in your mentality, and say, I'm going to throw away childish ways about me. But the only childishness I'm going to keep is my joyful heart towards you, people. Your joyous heart towards you. Yes, love one another. Share each other with each other. And with that last note, wow, I've been on for a while now. It's 2.5 hours, I see. So I just feel that I needed to share this, share what's on my heart. Yes, men and women from the Black community or any community, you are important to one another. We need one another. We don't need to be robots. Let us share humanity with one another and make this world a better place. Be the person that you want to see. Wow, I love that, don't you? Yeah. So this is Spirit Journey. Us going to sign off. Peace, love, and joy to you all. Bye bye.